Hey there everyone, it's Elmarie, Callsign KJ5LXP, and for today's video, we're going to be updating my mobile rig. Let's get into it. I've gotten some really cool products from 12 Volt Power. They're a Comet distributor here in the United States, and I can't wait to show you guys. Let's see what we got. So this is the full spread that we got from the folks over at 12 Volt Power. They're the exclusive distributor of Comet products across North and South America. So everything you're seeing here came directly from them. I really appreciate this group. They've been amazing to work with. And honestly, at this point, I'd consider them friends. Not everything you see here is specifically for mobile install, but let's walk through it. First up is the Comet HFJ tripod. It's a compact, collapsible tripod that's easy to pack down and bring out into the field. Paired with it is the HFJ antenna system. It has multiple sections depending on how you want to configure it, so there's a lot you can do with it. I'll probably save this for a dedicated field video later. They also sent over this carrying bag. It looks small at first, but once you open it, it expands quite a bit. There's a lot of room for gear, plus multiple pockets and zippers for organization. And then a few fun extras. Some stickers, a small flathead screwdriver, and this glass mug. Now getting into the mobile setup. This is the coax that we'll be using, the CK3 NMO3 NMO mount and cable. This will be running into the Yaesu FTM 510D for VHF and UHF. Here's a closer look at the NMO connector. You've got this O-ring that unscrews, which allows you to mount it onto the bracket. And this is that bracketing mount. It installs under the hood on the driver's side using an existing bolt. So you get a really clean install without drilling into the body. This setup will be used with the Comet SBB5 antenna. It's a dual band 2 meter and 70 centimeter antenna. And here's a closer look at the NMO connector on the bottom, which is a bit different from the PL259 connectors you typically see on setups. And then for HF, this is the Comet HFC20, a 20 meter tuned ham stick antenna. I already have a lip mount from when I first got into ham radio, so I'll be using that mount for this antenna. This is what I'll be pairing with the Icom IC705 for mobile HF operation. All right, now that everything's out of the bag, let's get it installed. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna install the bracket mount. The way that we're gonna do that is we're gonna be on the driver's side of the 4Runner and we're gonna lift up the hood and then unscrew some bolts. So let's do that. Oh, she's dirty. So what we need to do right now is expose a bolt that's under this insulation piece. We're gonna have to be taking off this black plastic piece right here. There's like these little hook things. They just come right off. Some of them you might have to like pull forward and then take off. Mine just pops off. And then at the end here too, you're just gonna have to pull it off. And then the entire piece should come right off. So boop, that's done. So what you're gonna notice are these holders here of this black piece. As you can see, you'll need to pull this piece forward. But before we do that, first you'll need to get this unlatched. It's pretty in there, so you'll have to kind of mangle it up and out, kind of push it forward maybe a little bit. You can see it's getting caught under this piece right here, part of the hood, and then just kind of pop it out like so. And now it's exposed. And oh, that sounded bad, but we're good, nothing broke. We'll just slide our piece up and out, and then hopefully you don't crack it or break it, but thankfully I didn't, and it should just come all the way off. Bye-bye. Now what you'll do is you'll need a 10 millimeter racket wrench here, or socket wrench here, that should fit the hole. You'll take out this entire bolt. Whenever you do not lose it, obviously, because you've only got one, and you know, you just don't lose it in your engine. This should just come right off now. Next, you'll take your bracket here, find the bolt that you unscrewed, line it up, put the bolt back over it, start threading it a little bit, then grab your trusty wrench. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull this entire thing. It's got some room. I'm gonna pull it all the way to the edge of this car, because whenever I close this hood, there is no room. There's no room at all. So pull it all the way to the car and start screwing away. That ain't going anywhere. Before you put all this back on, let's see if we close this and it won't rub on the hood. Ooh, that is, yeah, it's good. It's great, actually. Now we'll have to just reverse the process. Insulator piece, there. All right, and it's just, there's a little gap, but not a huge one. But it's on, it's installed. So let's get some coax under it. We'll take this piece off. Yeah, that looks good. The antenna is on. Now what we'll need to do is the dreaded firewall. See if we can I undo this? Oh, there it goes. So the firewall on the 4Runner is located down where my red and black wires are for my Yaesu 510D. As you can see here, my firewall is already pretty crowded. That rubber grommet is really thick, and with the power and ground wires already running through for my Yaesu 510D, there just wasn't enough space to push the coax through. So instead, I ended up running the cable through the driver's side door. Now, if your firewall isn't as crowded as mine, you should be able to route the coax through the grommet without any issues. But in my case, I had to go with a different option. Now I know what you're thinking. Elmarie, you did not just run your wire outside your door. Hold on. Before you all go running in the comment section saying how bad of an idea that was, don't worry, I felt the pressure too. Let me show you what I did instead. So instead of using the original grommet, I found another spot in the 4Runner's engine bay that looked like it could work. There's actually a small piece designed for wire pass-through that you can trim with scissors to create an opening. It took a little bit of effort and some finagling, but once I removed that piece, I then used a clothesline wire to make sure there was a clear path to the other side. From there, I grabbed the coax and with a little pressure was able to run it through. And just like that, it's routed through the firewall properly. No more exposed wires. So now that we found a good alternative for the VHF and UHF antenna, let's shift over to HF. I already have a lip mount installed from my previous setup, which was running a VHF and UHF antenna. Since now we have a dedicated antenna mounted on the hood, I don't need that one anymore. So I'm going to remove the SBB2 antenna from the lip mount and replace it with the 20-meter HF antenna. So let's swap that out. Before mounting it, you need to assemble the antenna. It comes with two sections. On the thicker base section, you'll see a small screw set. Loosen that and then thread the top section onto the antenna, and then tighten the screw back down to secure it. Once that's done, just mount it onto your lip mount and you're good to go. Perfect. It's on. Wow. To round it all out, I added this foam piece that came with the antenna to help protect the car as the antenna sways. All right, now we have two antennas set up. We have our UHF VHF for 2 meter and 70 centimeters, and now we have our 20-meter tuned antenna, and that antenna is going to be used with the Icom IC705. Right now, it's on a 3D printed holder that'll fit in a Cupholder. I got this as a gift from Thomas. I'll show his information here on the screen, but Thomas, thank you so much for sending me this. Appreciate you printing it for me, actually adding my call sign on there. That was very sweet. We're gonna use this tuner to help our SWR here. It's just through the roof. I don't know, is that expected for a ham stick? Now we're using the tuner. We're perfect 1-to-1 in the 20-meter band now. Without it though, it was just kind of really bad.
Cupholder, this is Kilo Juliet 5 Delta Mike Echo calling Cupholder at US 2549.
Kilo Juliet 5 Lima X-ray Papa.
Kilo Juliet 5 Lima X-ray Papa.
QSL.
QSL, copy the call sign. Shelby, I've got you a 5-9 in Mississippi, Mike Sierra. Time with that signal report, I've got you a strong 5-9 in Mississippi, Mike Sierra at Park US 2549.
5-9. Roger the 5-9. I'm running QRP here. You're a perfect 5-9 here into Texas.
QSL, copy the 5-9. Hey, thanks for hunting.
73. First contact on the ham stick, and it was a 5-9 from Mississippi from Kilo Juliet 5 Delta Mike Echo at US 2549. We're using the Icom IC705 running at 5 watts and from the ham stick in the back. That's amazing. So we have the 705 sitting here on the cup holder, and then now we have the Yaesu 510D. Let's go test this antenna out now. Let's ask Lance to see if he can help us out. Kilo Juliet 5 Lima X-ray Papa calling Kilo Mike 6 Lima Mike Papa QSL. This is on the Yaesu. Yes.
Kilo Mike 6 Lima Mike Papa.
Nice.
I'll get you. It's not an S9, so you're really super clear.
This is on simplex, on the small antenna here. I'm upgrading my mobile rig right now and kind of recording a video of the whole process, and so I'm testing out my radios.
Yep, you're sounding good. I think
Oh, cool.
on 2 of my vehicles that I had on the 3rd, and absolutely love that antenna.
Well, I'm going to wrap up the video here, everyone. We were able to successfully install both antennas and make contacts on both radios, both on the 510D and the IC705. We did one simplex contact on 146.520 and then one other HF contact on 20 meters while hunting a POTA activation. If you're looking for any of this stuff, you can find all of this at DX Engineering. I will be leaving their links on there. This was not provided by DX Engineering. This was all provided by a company called 12 Volt Power. If you haven't already, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's free and it helps more than you can know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, cool. Finally.